Your senses don't always give you the full perspective. The five elements help you see what's really there. Let me show you what I mean. Look at a tree. When you look at a tree, you don't necessarily see water, but water is in the tree. It's in the way the tree moves, in the roots, in the sap. Without water, there's no wood. Water grows wood. What else is in the tree? Fire. Fire is in the tree. What does the tree do? It eats sunlight. The chlorophyll cells in the leaves have learned to digest light. And then what do? We take that wood and we burn it, releasing that sunlight back out of the wood. What about Earth? The minerals, the nutrients, the connection between wood and earth is constant. The tree draws from the soil, and those minerals, that's the metal element. So all five elements are in the tree: water, wood, fire, earth, metal. That's a relationship between one element and all of the others. Take a look at your hand. You think it's solid, separate from everything else? This is where you end and the world begins. That's an illusion. You can't exist without taking in energy. You have to eat food, you have to breathe air. The energy inside of us doesn't exist without the energy outside of us. They're not separate, they are the same thing. This understanding that we're connected to everything around us is the foundation of traditional Chinese medicine. It starts with something called the five elements. Your mind likes to see separations. This is my skin. This is where I separate from everything else. But you're not separate. You can't be. Ancient Chinese believed that we are a microcosm of the macrocosm. We're essentially nature manifested into human form, and therefore subject to all of its forces in the cycle and in the rhythms. This idea is the basis of which Chinese medicine is built. See, there's an ancient Chinese proverb, the harmony of sky and human. This illustrates that people are connected to the universe, that harmony is achieved by accepting the natural life forces and the natural way of life. It's about eating healthy, doing the right exercises at the right time, maintaining an emotional equilibrium. Chinese medicine is life science. It's emphasizing observation of the world, but not only the outside world, the inside world. Harmony of sky and human means if you look into your micro universe, yourself, then you can understand the macro, the bigger universe. Another great Chinese proverb is from medicine, you understand the way of living, and from living, you understand the world. This observation goes deep into your daily activities, whether you're sitting, whether you're standing. Every moment is about medicine, about balance, and about flow. The key to understanding all of this is called yin and yang. I know what you're asking. How does this map apply to you? What this model suggests is that each of us is compressed of organs and meridians that are flowing and alive with energy and chi. This wood element right here corresponds to the liver. It also corresponds to the east, spring, and the color green. It opens the eyes. It's the emotion of anger. Fire corresponds to the heart. It's related to summer and to the south, and the color is red. It opens the tongue. Its emotion is joy, but when it's out of balance, we feel overstimulated. The earth element corresponds to the spleen and it sits in the center. It's related to summer and it's the color yellow. It opens the mouth and the lips, and the emotion is worry. So when it's balanced, you are thoughtful and stable. The metal element is related to the lungs and autumn and to the west. The color is white. It opens the nose, and the emotion is grief and sadness. But when it's balanced, letting go and acceptance just comes natural. Water element corresponds to the kidneys. It's related to winter, to the north, and the color black or dark blue. It opens the ears. The emotion is fear. And when we are in balance with this, we have more wisdom and willpower. Before we dive deep into seasonal living, I need you to understand yin and yang, because yin and yang are the foundation of everything in Chinese medicine. The five elements show us the stages. Okay, so the stages are spring, summer, autumn, and winter. But in these stages, we have yin and yang, and those create quality for those stages. Yin and yang are the duality of the universe. It's the dynamic interplay between opposing and complementary forces. Yang is hot, active, rising, expansive, light, daytime, summer. Yin is cold, still, sinking, contractive, dark, nighttime, winter. Fire is yang. It rises, it goes up. That's why summer and the south are at the top of the diagram. Water is yin. It's heavy, it sinks, it goes down. That's why winter and north is at the bottom of the diagram. Everything contains both yin and yang. Day turns into night. Summer turns into winter. And here's the key with yin and yang. All of this is always in motion. It's never still. It's never stagnant. There's a constant transformation turning into one another. At the peak of yang, the height of summer, there's still yin starting to grow. And the depth of yin, the darkest of winter, yang is already being born. This is the cycle. This is how energy moves through the universe. This is how energy moves through the seasons. This is how energy moves through our body. Now, let's look at how this plays in the seasons, okay? What ancient texts have been saying for thousands of years how to live in harmony with these seasons. You ever wonder why a spring roll is called a spring roll? I had no idea until I studied Chinese medicine. The original ingredients in the spring roll included sprouts and eggs, foods that symbolize new life, energy waiting to be born. This is the perfect food for spring, to support your body and your energy and emerge from winter. The Yellow Emperor's Classic of Internal Medicine, one of the foundational texts of Chinese medicine, says this about spring. See, spring has 3 months. This is when everything is growing, when everything is sprouting. It's best to go to bed early and to wake up early, to let your hair down, let it flow, to have loose fitting clothes, take leisurely walks, be in the garden, stretch your tendons. Your tendons, yes, stretch your tendons. Be open physically and emotionally. Why? Because spring's the time of the wood element, the liver. The energy is rising, it's expanding, it's expressing, it's sprouting, it's planting, it's coming out of the ground. If you violate this natural order of spring, if you stay tight and closed off, sedentary, you will have liver damage. Liver chi damage, that is, that energy, not just the liver. This can cause disease for summer. That means that you're not plentiful in spring. Imagine a little sprout trying to grow, but we're putting tight clothes on it and we're making it stay indoors and we're not allowing it to expand and move. The sprout's not going to be happy. It's not going to be able to go into summer. It's actually going to be angry and frustrated. And if the sprouting aspect isn't, enough for you, it also means that it doesn't get to flourish in summer. The liver also controls the tendons in the body. So spring is a good time for exercise, to stretch, to do qigong, tai chi, yoga, movement meditation kind of practices. These are the kind of practices that are going to get that chi flowing into those tendons. Now, for food, the ancient the ancient texts suggest that getting sprouts and grains are going to bring in this abundant energy. Okay, it's giving us the sprout, the waiting, the nourishment, the energy of spring. What does the Emperor's Classic say about summer and those 3 months? It says that we should go to bed late and we should wake up early. We should stay physically active and we should definitely sweat it out. This is the time when you want to sweat. You want to get those pores unclogged, and you really want all this chi energy to get out of those pores because they're a little bit more stagnant. Why? Because yang energy is going up. It's rising out of the body. It wants to get out through the pores. So let it get out through the pores. If we try to hold it down, we create that stagnation. That's why the texts tell us to exercise, to get this warrior energy, to really sweat it out, to move that energy forward. Emotionally, in the text, it says that we need to avoid anger because this is a part of the heart, and we need to be more in joy in the summer. Okay, we can't have overjoy because we need to be balanced. In Chinese medicine, it's all about equilibrium. Okay, so yang energy is rising. There's a tendency to get overly excited, overstimulated, and want to stay out and go to vacations and have that crazy energy. You know what I'm saying? And that excitement can be the form of happiness, but we need to make sure to not overdo it, because if we overdo it and we violate the natural order, we can damage the heart. And this will create that heart disease that's going to go into autumn. And if we do that, we're going to have a lower supply of that energy going into autumn. And when we think about it, it's a seed growing into spring. Okay, once it gets to the peak of summer, the flower, the bloom, the beautifulness, we're not going to get the fruit if we didn't plant the seed. What do you think that the Yellow Emperor's Classic says about autumn and those 3 months? This is when things start to reach maturity and a level of stability. It's the best time to go to bed early and to wake up early. Autumn's emotion is all about peacefulness, collecting those running thoughts and not letting them run wild. Collect your thoughts. You also think of this as harvesting. We reach the peak of summer, okay, and we're going into gathering all of our resources to bring them in. The text says if we violate this natural order, we are going to damage the lungs, and this is going to create a disease for winter. If we have not harvested what we have stored, winter's going to be pretty difficult. Winter is going to then go into a starvation mode, and we're not going to be able to create that harvest, and we might not make it through winter. In the autumn, we should be eating fermented foods, especially fermented sauces that are spicy or sour. Okay, this is going to help our digestion with all of those good enzymes, because this is the time of abundance, the most abundance of food. Okay, so we might be eating too much and we really aren't going to absorb everything. So we need those enzymes to help us get and keep those nutrients. With that yellow book said this about winter. This is when things become dormant and want to conserve energy. This is the best time to go to bed early and to wake up late after the sunrise. Why do we want to wake up after the sunrise? Because it's cold. We need the sun to wake us up and be in that environment. Because if we're too cold, we're disrupting that yang energy, and we need to conserve that yang energy during this season. It also said that we should avoid our desires and keep mental activities quiet, as well as not sweating too much and keeping our pores closed. Believe it or not, it actually works. It conserves energy. And we don't want to violate these orders. These are natural orders, because if we violate winter's order, we are violating the kidneys. We are messing with our kidney chi. This is going to make it really, really hard to go and plant seeds in the spring. You see, it's a full cycle, and the yin and the yang, the five elements, they're all connected. It's a continuous cycle. Chinese medicine is all about cause and effect. Okay. If you prepare yourself here, then you're going to get results here. If you get disease here, it may come up later over here. For food in winter, we want to have drinks of kombucha and actually like low alcohol percentages things, because this is actually going to bring out the yang energy within us and open up these pores that are closed and developing stagnation and dampness. Drinking a little bit of wine or some kombucha is going to open up these channels in the meridians, and it's going to create less stagnation. This is also going to keep dampness away and keep the body warm. Y'all, I don't expect you to go home and implement this all together right now, but I just wanted to bring attention and help you see and notice the difference in emotions and what's coming up in your body and during the seasons. So you understand the map of the seasons and the elements and what they're corresponded to. So the wood relates to the liver, spring to anger. Here's the question: how does this energy actually move through your body? That's where these chi and meridian lines come into play. They're also inside that fascia. So, part two is going to be mapping out our body in these energy pathways, the meridians that live in the fascia, that run through the body, that are going to help us understand why acupuncture, cupping, massage therapy, qigong, tai chi, all of this comes into play, and how that also has a rhyme and a rhythm in the cycles of the seasons. Because now you have the map, and now we're going to learn how to navigate it.